This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional, and it is always recommended to hire a pest control pro in your area to perform any pest control in or outside your home. Pesticides can harm you and your loved ones. Anyone who is performing the information in this video is doing so at their own risk. If you decide to try the info provided in this video, please always check with the local laws in your area and read the labels of any product you use. The label is the law. Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control, and today I want to talk about how I screwed up. I've been in pest control for over 35 years of my life, and this is a story about how customer satisfaction, customer expectations, which I go over, in several other videos, is very important. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to my channel. So I have a customer. I've been servicing their house for almost as long as I've been in business. I service their house, I service their church, and I service a parsonage for the church. So there's 3 different locations that I do. And in fact, it started with the parsonage. I was doing the parsonage, and then it moved over to their house, and then subsequently their church. But I've been doing work for them for years. They've been a customer for a very long time. And what happened was the guy, he added a barn near his house, and he gets problems with mice. He lives in the country, way out, in the middle of cow fields, horse fields, places where there's a lot of grazing animals. And so naturally they have problems with things like mice and rats. Rodents are an issue, spiders and other bugs and stuff, just because they live out in the middle of the country. And so he hired me to get rid of the mice that were in his house and the spiders that were on his house, because like his wife doesn't like spiders. She goes out, spends time on her porch, spiders get all over her, and she doesn't like it. So he hired me to do this. And so I've worked for him for several years. Well, about last year, year and a half or so ago, he finished with a barn. He had put a barn up, and I told him, I said, well, you got this barn, it's right next to the house. It's really close. I said, I'll go ahead. I'll put a rat station out there for you and try to keep the rodents out of the barn. Because, he already has me doing 3 different locations for him. And I said, I won't even charge you anything. I'll just put it out there. Because if I had a barn, I wouldn't want rats or mice to get in my barn either. And so I said, I'll just do it. I'll add it on to your regular service. Don't worry about the charge. It's, I'll just go ahead and just do it and not charge you anything. And so he's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. That sounds really good. And so several months went by, and then it was time for stink bugs. And so the stink bugs started getting in his barn. Now, if you live in an area where there are stink bug problems, it's almost impossible to keep stink bugs out of your house. If you do pest control, that it's almost impossible to keep stink bugs out of your customers' houses. The best thing you can do is spray around all their entry points, around the windows, around the doors, treat all the areas that they come in through, and then they will die in piles when they get in. And the best thing you can do is just sweep them up, throw them away, because you're not going to deter a bug that's coming in for hibernative purposes from coming in the house. Same as the Asian lady beetles, cluster flies, wasps and things. Lots of stuff will come in during the fall to try to get in, winter over inside your home, and subsequently barns. Now, a barn is not built to the same standard as a house either, so the bugs will appear to be worse in a barn. And they are, because, well, they're not caulked like a house. They're not sealed up in the same way as a house is. Now, when I say barn, this is really a steel building, but it's a pole barn. It's a pole barn with steel siding, insulation, and wood, real old-fashioned wood paneling on the inside. Now, it's not caulked around the windows or the doors or anything like that. In fact, the door is it's a garage door. It's a gigantic garage door. So really, it's kind of like an exterior garage on the house, and just built to the same standard as a pole barn. And so it's loaded with stink bugs. It's absolutely loaded with stink bugs. And so, I'm killing them every time I go. I go every month. I treat every month. There's dead ones everywhere. And he said, what can we do to stop these stink bugs? And this was like a year ago. And I said, well, really, the only thing you can do is spray and kill them when they get in, sweep them up and throw them away, which is what we were already doing. I said, you're doing the best you can do.
And so, but like I said, originally I wasn't even going to spray the barn. I had serviced it for rats and mice, try to keep them out of there. But I decided to go ahead and spray it too. Now, so far, I've given him 2 services for free. I haven't charged him anything for them at all. I just added it on to his regular bill. But like I said, it's a barn. It's a barn. You know, you're not going to keep bugs and stuff out of a barn. You just kill them when they get in there. And so let's fast forward to this year. So this year, I went out to the, actually this month, it's just maybe a few days ago, I went out to the guy's house, and he seemed irritable and upset. And he's like, Jason, there's a problem with my barn. He's like, I'm still getting these bugs in the barn. Now he's got millipedes and stuff coming in, because we've been in a drought. For those that don't know, millipedes don't like it when it's dry, and so they come in the house when you don't have any wet weather, and they'll curl up and die all over the floor. Look like little teeny tiny cinnamon buns when they die. They're like little bug looking worms. And he's getting little ground beetles and stuff. All these things come in because of lack of rain. And of course they're dead. There's not a single live one in there at all, but there's dead ones all over, because I'm paid to kill bugs. That's what he's got me as an exterminator, so I come in and I kill his bugs for him. That's what you do. You hire an exterminator to kill bugs. So there's dead bugs. So I'm doing a good job. I think I'm doing a good job. But he's irritated because he's still seeing these bugs all over the place. And so he's like, what can we do to solve this problem? And I said, well, the only thing I know to do is to go out and treat the yard. I said, if you treat the yard, all the way around the barn, which is a lot. It's a lot of area to have to treat, at least probably a half acre to an acre's worth of land that needs to be treated to keep the bugs out of his barn. I'm like, and even then, the bugs may still make it in the barn. If the chemical starts to lose its effectiveness, that's what happens when you treat a whole large area. Chemical doesn't last forever. It rains on it. There's lots of things that will cause the chemical to dissipate and no longer be effective. It's out in the open in the yard. And I'm like, for the amount of money that you would spend on a yard treatment, you could probably throw granules on the yard and get the same effect, and just do it about once a month. And I don't know if it would be worth it to you to service the yard because of the price I'd have to charge. I can't do that for free. I have to charge for that. And so he got angry, and he's like, well, what do you think that I would be willing to pay? He's like, he got offended because I told him that, I didn't think it was worth the money. And so that was my first mistake in assuming that he cared about the cost, which, I'm just trying to save him money. I'm looking out for him. He's my customer. I would do the same thing for anybody. I treat all my customers like family, and I don't like to charge them if I don't need to. That's why I got this YouTube channel. I teach people about bugs. I teach people about how to do it without the help of an exterminator, how to do it on their own and become independent and become, completely able to do this, what I do, on their own. And so I was just trying to save him money. I was looking out for him because I care, because I care about him. And he got really angry with me, and because now he doesn't see it as a solution. He sees it as something that may not be worth his money, which doesn't technically mean a solution. And so really what I should have said was, we could treat the yard. That's a temporary solution. You'll need to treat the yard pretty regular to be able to keep the bugs out. And if you want to do that, I can set you up on a plan where we can do that, but it's rather expensive. This is a cost. And just leave it at that, instead of telling him something like, well, it's not worth it, But the whole moral of the story, now I've gone to all this trouble to tell this story and tell you what happened to me, and I'm telling it now because it's fresh in my mind. It just happened. And when you run a business and you give somebody free service, they don't value your service. They see it as something you just give away for free. When I started treating his barn over a year ago for free, you instill this idea in your customer's mind that what you're giving them is valueless. It's not worth anything. I'm looking out for him. I'm trying to help him out. But the overall idea in his mind is he's just doing this for free because it doesn't cost him anything. So it's obviously no value in it. But let's say I charged him $10. Let's say I said, hey, if you want me to add the barn in to your regular service, I can charge you an additional $10 a month. Then when he has this problem where the bugs are still bad, you just tell him, oh, well, maybe what I'm doing is just not working very well for you because it's a barn. It's very hard to keep bugs out of a barn because it's not constructed in the same manner as a house. And I'll just take that off of your bill and we'll just stop treating the barn. I said, I'll take the mouse station out and we'll just treat it as if, really I was concerned mice would get in, and if you don't want me to do that anymore, I'll just go ahead and take that stuff out. I don't need to charge you the $10 a month. And then you build value on what service you're providing. So even though you're trying to look out for your customer, even though you're trying to save your customer money, and even though your intentions may be 100% fair and reasonable and good, the thing that you got to realize is that people don't value what you give them if you just give it to them for free, especially if it's your business to be an exterminator. Hopefully this video has helped you understand value of what kind of service that you offer. If you offer pest control, if you offer uniform embroidery, or anything like that, if whatever service that you provide, understand that what you do is valuable and you need to charge for what you give people. Give them an honest quote, give them an honest price. Don't overcharge them, be honest, but value is built. Y'all have a good one. I appreciate it. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, consider subscribing to the channel. Y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.